Okay, take Pete's car, go to Mum's, kill Phil, grab Liz, go to the Winchester, have a nice cold pint, and wait for all this to blow over. While listening to Cosmere Chronicles, the podcast where we follow two first-time readers, Sheta and Justin, and we chronicle their journey through Brand Sansa's Cosmere series. On today's episode, we'll be chronicling the Stormlight Archive, The Way of Kings, chapters 3 through 6. So now let's throw it over to the host of Cosmere Chronicles. This is Joe! Thank you, Joe. Welcome, everyone, once again to the fantabulous adventures of Cosmere Chronicles. My name's Joe.
It's fantabulous here.
That's false advertising.
And I am joined by Sheta and Justin.
Welcome to our fantabulous show.
I'm not doing it.
You have to. It's for the children.
I will not let you buy children.
They're cheap and they work very hard to impress you.
It's okay. It's the island, Paradise Island or whatever it was called from Pinocchio.
It is
Pleasure Island.
It's an island. Paradise
Pleasure.
isn't the one it is, but we have a different name for it, but it's become an unpopular name nowadays, so I'll stop talking now.
Or, here we go. If you can do a Ricardo Montalban voice, then it can be Fantasy Island.
I don't think Justin has that range.
I absolutely cannot do that. I thought it through. I can't do it.
All right. Well, let's get past that.
Now
We'll
that
go
no
over
one
to
is
our-
listening anymore, let's continue.
Let's go over to our random questions and all that. And all that. All right. We'll start off. Fine. We'll go with the actor. So, an actor that has some range and everything. So, what is your favorite? One or three. You just give a couple of your favorite Keanu Reeves movies. Not roles he played, but movies that he was the main star in.
Does he have to be the main star? Can he not just be in it?
A featured person in the movie. So you can't have a movie where you let cameos in it.
All right. I'm going to need 1 second to look at this bibliography quick. Because that is a very sudden question.
You can't name...
Well, you
have
gotta
some
pick
Keanu
the
movies that
favorites.
jump out to the
What
top
I
of your
don't want to
head.
do is say 3 and then keep saying, oh no, this one. This is the definitive 3.
Okay, I'm ready. I'm going to go with John Wick, A Walk in the Clouds, and Constantine.
Constantine?
Yep, Constantine.
Dude, Constantine's badass, even if it's one of the worst adaptations ever made.
Yeah.
Sorry, Matrix. You're not as good as Constantine.
Yeah, Sheta did not put the Matrix on. For me, I am going to go, the Matrix. Does another movie in a series count as a separate
No, because it's the same
Sure.
role.
Yeah, but we said movies, not roles.
movie?
Yeah, but that's dumb.
Oh, what was the answer, Joe?
Yeah, go ahead.
You can say it.
No, what was the answer? I didn't hear.
I said yes.
Okay. Then I also annoyingly will have to go Matrix Reloaded, where he's super fucking badass in that movie. And then Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure. If I have to pick between the two, I'm going to go with the first one. Even though I love the second one too.
All right. For me, I will, of course, have to go with The Matrix. I will also go with John Wick,
Which John Wick?
the first one.
Mhm.
You know, the movie just called John Wick. And then number 3, I'll go with Point Break. When I watched that movie, it turned out to be much better than I thought it was going to be.
And Sheta, which John Wick did you pick?
I'll go with the first one too, because that's where I fell in love with the character. So
Mm-hmm.
I always thought
Right.
Point Break was a kind of like a sequel to Bill and Ted.
It is not. It is not in
What?
any way a sequel to Bill and Ted.
I haven't seen it, so I just thought it was the actiony brother movie to that.
No, God, no. Not even remotely similar.
Isn't it also
Yeah.
about super best friends though?
No, not really.
Okay.
He kind of becomes friends with Patrick Swayze as a way to take down his illegal crime spree.
See, yeah. Maybe that's what happens.
You know, his character is absolutely nothing like, he was in Bill and Ted. All right. And then You know what? Let's go your top 3 favorite Tom Cruise movies.
Jesus.
And Tropic Thunder does not count. He did not have a big enough role in that.
He had
All
a
right.
huge role in that. He was one of the selling points of the movie.
Yeah, and I would have picked it too. So.
I know. That's why I had to cut it out.
Well, then I'll just go with Top Gun and Mission Impossible. I don't remember which one, but one of them I was like, I think it was Rogue Nation. That's one I really liked. Yep. That's what I was like, this guy's got it.
Was that the first? Is that the one where he climbs the building?
No, that's 4, Ghost Protocol.
Mm.
But
Which
yeah,
one
I
was
think
Rogue
I'll go
Nation?
with 4. Rogue Nation when shit really got crazy. So, but I'm gonna go with 4.
Hey.
And then I didn't do my third one. I'll just do
Oh, you're
Top
right.
Gun Maverick for that one. So both the Top Guns.
And I will go with Legend, obviously.
Oh my god, how could I
Yeah,
forget about
hell
Legend?
yeah, Legend. Probably Eyes Wide Shut and Edge of Tomorrow. I think those are the 3 I'll go with.
All right. For me, I'll go with Mission Possible 1.
1? Wow.
I really liked it. It's my favorite of the Mission Impossible movies.
It does have all the classic
go-
stuff in there.
Else, yeah. I'll go with A Few Good Men.
Hmm.
Yeah. And for number 3, shit, I feel like I'm forgetting something I should say. So I'll just go with The Last Samurai.
Oh, I got to do an honorable mention of The Outsiders.
He was in The Outsiders? You're right, he was.
I did like his part in War of the Worlds too. I thought he was a good dad.
Mm-hmm. Since everyone's got their best Mission Impossible, I'm going with the one with Henry Cavill, where they have the fight in the bathroom.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Up there, no, that's the movie I forgot to say. So I am gonna get rid of Last Samurai and replace it with Rain Man. That's what I forgot. Well, that's our random stuff for this week.
Those ones felt pretty random to me.
So now let's move on to The Way of Kings by starting off with recapping last week's chapters. Who wants to do it?
Nose
Not it.
goes. I already said not it first.
No, I did. I did it. I said no first.
Everything is recorded. You can't lie.
Go back and listen to it. I said it.
You know, I asked who wants to do it, not who does not want to do it.
Sheta wants
just
to.
Because of that, you're going.
What?
You broke the rule.
I guess I did. Last time, we were following a young guy who got recruited into a section of the army by a guy who was super good at fighting. Everyone liked him because he paid medics to get them off the fields faster. And everything seemed like it was going swell, and he wanted to go fight someplace else and prove himself. But everyone in his army his group was horribly killed. We learned that he had been, due to situations we haven't had fully revealed, he is now in slavery, and everything sucks for him. And we know he knows a lot about medical stuff, and a weird little fairy girl is flying around him, but he's not entirely sure why. Then there was also something about a girl doing something. Being on a ship, right? That was last week, right? No, that was this week, wasn't it? Then I can't parcel through what was last week and what was this week with that stuff.
The prologue.
You forgot about the ancient knights.
Oh, the prologues. That's what I'm forgetting. Okay, yeah. There were a bunch of ancient knight dudes who all broke some oath and then left one of their guys back in the hellish place that they all need to go back to. And they all walked away. Then there was a second prologue an assassin dude dressed all in white so you'd know he was coming, was working for the Polishini, whatever they're called, to break a treaty that they just signed with the king to go murder the king. And he said, let his brother know about the 7 words you can't say on TV or something like that. And he wrote them down and something like that. That's what I remember.
That's not what he put down.
Maybe I'm mixing it up with something else, but...
So is your fan casting now for Gavilar, George Carlin?
So far, unless I get a better one.
No, Zeth wrote, Gavilar told him to tell his brother to find the most important words a man can say.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
Okay,
That was good.
so
Passing grade?
yeah, passing grade after we gave you hints and help.
Yeah, nice.
So now let's go to this week. This week we read chapters 3 through 6. So I'll ask you, as usual, to start off, how'd you two feel about these chapters?
I like these ones more than the previous ones because I'm getting a sense for where the story's going, and I'm seeing a lot of interesting things that I'm always interested to see in, like medieval type stuff about how shitty the world is for the people on the bottom of it. I'm really enjoying that part.
I will wait to give my opinion until I hear your guys' opinion.
I just gave you my opinion.
Well, then Joe's opinion.
Joe doesn't give an opinion.
Yeah.
When we go through the parts.
Sheta, let's hear your opinion.
I don't want to sound like a fool, though. So
What are you planning on saying?
I'll say it when the time comes.
Either she really does not like she really either does not like Shallan, or she really does not like Kaladin.
Yeah, Jesus. I couldn't even guess. Like I said, I like seeing the shitty bottom of the barrel stuff. It's very interesting to me. I preferred these chapters to the ones we read before. That's my thing. I'm much more into the story now than I was before.
Yeah, I'll just say that I really, really like parts of it, and I really could not stand other parts of it. So
I can't even guess. There was nothing like annoying in these parts, so unless you hate LARPing as a slave, I couldn't guess.
My guess will be the witty comments that Shallan constantly makes.
They're not that much. They're not that much in here, so I'll be surprised if you say such a thing. We shall see, Sheta.
I will make my case when the time comes.
And
then I do want to be told wrong, so we'll see.
You want to be told wrong, but you haven't told us what you think.
So I won't say anymore.
All right, so
man, you are the most frustrating frickin' podcast to get person I've ever heard. I have very strong opinions that will definitely be controversial. I'm not going to share them until later, so you'll have to wait to see.
I'm not trying to do that. I just want to wait till the context, then I can say it.
Okay. Let's
These better be some spicy takes, shit, or somebody's going to be pissed off.
It's not. I'm not like that.
I, for one, am excited for Sheta to be canceled by the masses.
Okay, so let's get into these chapters. Starting off with Chapter 3, City of Bells. And right before that chapter, there was some artwork, and pretty much this artwork
I could read those little cursive art writings. I hated that so much.
Yeah, pretty much that artwork is from a Shallan sketchbook. And it's artwork showing sketches of a sky eel, which is pretty much, it's an eel that flies through the sky. And through the writing, it just mentions some things about how it eats like rats and stuff like that. But the part I found most interesting was that it said that while it's flying around, it's always followed around by these little spren that are called luck spren. Now getting to the chapter with the epigraph. A man stood on a cliffside and watched his homeland fall into dust. The water surged beneath, so far beneath, and he heard a child crying. They were his own tears. Collected 30 seconds before death. Subject was a cobbler of some renown. All right, so we begin the chapter, and we're with a new point of view character, Shallan Davar, and she's from the country of Yakaved. She has red hair. Yeah, and she arrives in the city of Kharbranth, which is known as the City of Bells. She arrives by a ship named the Wind's Pleasure, and she has been following Jasnah Kholin for months. Shallan hopes that this time she has been able to reach the city before Jasnah leaves. Shallan's nervous about her plan because her house needs an infusion of wealth or some other edge in Vaden house politics, otherwise they will not last the year. The captain of the ship, Tazbek, has sent someone off to see if Jasnah is still in the city. And Shallan's looking around at the city and all the people, and she just loves seeing all the new sights. And she thinks about Jasnah and wonders if Jasnah has been avoiding her, but she doubts it. Jasnah's just been busy, and Shallan is not important enough of a person to wait for. Jasnah is one of the most powerful women in the world, but also the most infamous. She is the only member of a faithful royal family that's also a professed heretic. Jasnah, she was briefly mentioned in the prologue with just when Szeth was walking through saying he did not see the king's daughter, Jasnah Kholin.
I didn't remember that.
Yep. And then the person that Tazbek had sent off comes back and delivers the news that Jasnah has not left the city. Tazbek tells Shallan that, maybe it was Shallan's beautiful face that gave him favorable wind. And Shallan, she responds back with some witty comments, and she's saying, like, well, that must mean that I'm only beautiful 1/6 the time, since we didn't arrive on time in the past. And she thinks about how she had been trained by her nurses and tutors to hold her tongue, but her brothers had encouraged her, and they found it entertaining for her to talk like this. And the sailors on the ship that she's been on have also been the same way.
I think that idea is funny. To have people around you constantly egging you on to talk more annoying and what's the word I want? Not witty, but like quippy and stuff. When you're like, that's your nature, is to be like that, but it's really, really bad to be like that. I think that's quite interesting and funny.
That's a nice way of putting it.
As opposed to what?
Okay, so I'm thinking of this as something, maybe they don't get very many jokes in this world, but I was like, girl, your brothers were gassing you up. You are not funny. Like, I just thought I thought it was interesting the way I read it, but that people have told her she was funny this whole time, so not like how you said, but they just keep encouraging her because they like her and she's pretty or something. And so she keeps doing these jokes that I find unbearable. And I would be like,
I don't know how it was in the audiobook, but I never was reading them up as jokes. More like
clever quips.
Yeah, clever quips. I never really read jokes in here. I don't know. Maybe if I missed something, I don't know.
I think it might be the audiobook again, the way it's said. It just
I thought it was more like you have all these, especially with the sea dudes, they're just a bunch of gruff dudes. It also sounds like men on average in this world, don't do a lot of like scholarly stuff or something like that. Like it's weird when they read.
So funny.
But more like again, funny. I never got that vibe. If that's in there, then I didn't.
Every guy laughs at her cleverness. They all laugh.
Appreciating cleverness is different than laughing at a joke. That's what I'm saying. If that's in there, I did not see that in there. To me, it read more like when somebody's like, oh, you're so bad, like, oh, you can't say that, especially when it was talking about making fun of random people and talking up how annoying and stupid they are and stuff that her brothers thought was funny. In a situation where you're kind of supposed to be more like, proper, I never ever got the vibe that she was going on stage or anything like that. If so, she's not funny. Like she didn't say anything that made me laugh in this entire section. So, did I miss something, or are you reading something that was not there?
Well, I didn't read it. I heard it. So, but the way it was said just sounded really mean.
Yeah, that's exactly how I interpreted it being. Yeah. Like, oh, you're so bad, like I said. And like these mean, just witticisms come to mind, and you just want to say them, but you don't because it's improper. However, I don't know, because again, when I say reading something into it, I don't mean literally reading. I mean, were you reading more information that's not there, or was I missing something that was stated? That's what I'm asking you. Because you did listen, so it is a different experience. So I'd love to hear.
I don't know. I don't know what you're trying to. We'll just keep going, and I'll tell you other stuff.
Well, what you said about them gassing her up because she's pretty, you said that's how you reasoned it, right?
No,
meaning they're like, "Oh, you're so hilarious."
I just thought the joke. They were not like. I'm getting a vibe for the world that they like the humor and the cleverness is something that's not really common and stuff, so that they can be like, whoa, we never thought of that before and thought it would think it was funny and stuff.
Yeah. And from the sailors, that makes sense and is reasonable, but from other people who grew up pretty wealthy and stuff, right? Then that would have a different context.
That most guys can't read in this world, so I believe it.
One thing I've always felt, it's because I know people do it in the real world too, is it could also be like, she's in a place she's never been before, uncomfortable. If people get into uncomfortable situations, they might just make like little quips just to make themselves feel a little more comfortable.
Yeah, I can see that.
Continuing on. After having a little bit of a, joking back and forth with Tazbek, Shallan goes on her way to the Palanaeum to hopefully see Jasnah. Tazbek tells her that they will wait 2 days so she can join them on the ship if things don't wind up working out. And he says that a high storm is coming, so they can't even leave the city right away anyways. And he has one of the sailors named Yalb escort Shallan through the city. And ever since she left her father's estate, Shallan has been enjoying her trip. Her brothers had been worried for her when she had left, and they thought of her as timid. And she had been frightened, but this has also been liberating for her. She had never expected to be free like this. She had expected to be cooped up in her father's, estate, and then married off and cooped up in her husband's estate. And right now, Shallan, she's wearing a dress that completely covers her left hand, which is also known as her safe hand. Well, it's pretty much her left hand just has this huge sleeve that fully covers it. It is the custom for Vorin women to not show their safe hand. And Kharbranth is a Vorin kingdom, like Alethkar and Shallan's home, Yakaved. And while she's walking through the, porch, she sees some women writing stuff down, and she thinks about how writing is a feminine art, and men do not learn how to read or write. They only, kind of learn glyphs, which are like images that are meant to more represent something instead of being an actual written language.
And I think it's fascinating that not only do they not really, like one of our main characters, it was just so weird to read, finds it kind of distasteful when she sees that the captain does, or that he sneaks it. Like that she has a prejudice about that, I think is really fascinating. Because normally when we have protagonists in worlds like this, they're so modernly progressive that they'll be like, and who cares if a man wishes to read, Instead, she's like, that's kind of weird, even though she seemed to like him.
Yeah, that this character is not supposed to be a very positive character, and will learn as she goes along in the story.
Oh, you want her to realize that she's just being a bitch to people? Is that it?
Yeah, I'm like, is this kind of, in my opinion, bitchy behavior like gonna be something that she learns later on? Like that wasn't very nice, or like, like I have more to say later, but
I need to hear. I'm so interested.
Well, it's gonna be stuff that happens. So once Joe goes over the stuff, I will make I have notes
with the woman she talks to,
with everything she does. So
yeah. What do you think though when she tried to hold her tongue, but then the captain's like, "Oh, please tell us," please give me what you got, honey. Like we're all so bored here. We want to hear something.
I just if he likes it, that's yeah. But I do think that she's basically like she's a lady, a rich lady. She's their boss, kind of like they would be gassing her up.
Oh, you think that they're actually like, please God, no more witty comments? Is that what you're saying?
I called them dad jokes. I was like, don't do any more.
Dad jokes is a good one. Yeah, I like that. That's funny.
I hate dad jokes.
You hate dad jokes?
I hate bad jokes or like things that are supposed to be clever. They'd have to be really dang good for me to
LOL,
Sheta.
You're gonna have a bad time then, from what I'm seeing.
I know. This is why.
Yep, and as they move through the city, Shallan sees some Parshmen. And the Parshmen, they're pretty docile and practically mute. They never complain and always do what they are told. And her father had preferred to own Parshmen over normal slaves. And she has heard that the Alethi are fighting Parshmen called the Parshendi out on the Shattered Plains, but that's, different to her because Parshmen don't fight. So she figures that the Parshendi must be a distant relative of some kind.
See, this kind of commentary is very interesting too, because I'm so used to stories where there's some kind of group of people who people have thoughts about, and everyone's just like, or then our main character's like, but I don't see them as being like animals. I don't see them as being like this, which I always find so boring, especially in a fantasy world where I don't know entirely what the rules are. So I find it very refreshing to have a character who seems like they're actually ingrained in this world. Unlike Kaladin in the last chapters, he was very caring and progressive for somebody at that level in the army. You know, that's more what I'm used to. So it's really interesting. And I'm curious to see where that goes within the narrative.
Yep, and then Yalb brings a man that has a rickshaw for Shallan to sit in, and she gets into it, and they begin to head to the Palanaeum. While going there, Shallan looks out on the city in wonder and astonishment. After they arrive, Shallan pays the rickshaw puller, and she also gives Yalb a ruby mark, which is a week's worth of pay, and she asks for him to wait for her.
Okay, this is the part, Joe. This is the part that I'm like, well, first, the part where the guy in the wagon's like, do you want the long way or the short way? And Yalb's like, what's the difference? And then Shallan goes, I expect one it takes longer and the other one is short. Like, all sarcastically and uselessly. I'm like, yeah, I get it. It was like not a dumb question. It was like, is it the scenic route? Or, there's more answers, but I thought it was really mean. Or I hate people like this. Like, what's wrong with you? This isn't a real answer. Like, I was actually wondering. And then,
did they give an answer?
Like, no, they're like, oh, you're right. It is longer. Or, so then,
Sheta, that's the sort of stuff I would say.
Yeah, well, it's annoying when you do it.
Yes.
I think Sheta's being very clear with what she says here. People who do that are wasting breath and should stop talking. That's what I'm hearing, Sheta.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that in the case of the character, but Joe, since you brought it up.
Okay, then she's like, she accidentally treats her translator Yalb. Well, first she makes fun of his name, I feel like, by saying like Yalb. That's such a weird name. It's so hard to pronounce. That's a small thing.
That is
but
not how I read that at all.
I'm like, okay, this is after the fact. That then she accidentally treats her like a master servant by handing him the money to hand to pay to the guide. Everyone notices, and they're like, kind of like, but then of course everyone laughs it off. And then
yeah, but she was embarrassed by that at least.
But what? But that she did that, and then okay, so that's fine. That's just maybe it's a mistake out of habit or something. Then she goes ahead and hands him an extra thing, an extra tip, and then he's like, "Whoa, what's this?" And she's like, "That's for you." And he's like, "Wow, this is a lot of money." And and I thought she was doing it because she felt bad about accidentally being rude to him and treating him like a servant. But it was actually to tell him to wait for her, and that was payment for him to wait hours for her to be done with this thing, whatever she's doing, without asking him if it was okay and if he would be up for doing nothing for the next 5 hours.
I'm sorry, but I have 2 comments on that. One is she said it was incentive to stay, She
then
didn't
she
say
insulted
beforehand.
his honorableness,
you got more.
his integrity.
Okay. If you say so. The second reason is they said that was over a week's wages for somebody in that line of work,
So she's flashing her money as well.
I'm saying that if I was a taxi driver like that, I would be very excited for this situation. That's all I'm saying.
That guy's not a taxi driver.
He is also in her employ to begin with. So
is it? I don't remember what his role is.
Yalb
I think he was part of the ship.
Yalb's one of the people on the ship.
Yeah.
So it's not like she grabbed a random person off the street, gave him money, and said, "Wait here for 5 hours." She has somebody who was given the task by his captain to make sure that she gets safely through the city, and gives him.
That's even worse, actually. That's even worse, because what if he needs to get back in time? I don't agree with you, Sheta, but Joe, you're not making it sound better to me.
Their ship's not leaving for 2 days.
It's just very entitled of her. And then she makes fun of his bow and how it's surprisingly well educated for poor
His
little.
what?
Huh? His bow.
Does she say that out loud?
In her head, she's like, "Wow."
Yeah, in her head. What? I don't know if you can blame somebody for their stray thoughts when they're raised as a noble.
That's why I'm hoping.
She is a little entitled.
So I give a lot of Brandon Sanderson's characters a really big pass, even though a lot of people don't like them. or call them like Mary Janes, or they're too quirky. But this
Mary
one
Janes.
is I never think that. I don't think that. I like his characters, but this one is very testing to me, and I hope she learns a lesson by the end of these books. Like,
Well, to be a Mary Sue, which is what you're trying to say.
oh, Mary Sue.
Everything,
Sorry.
yeah, everything has to work out for you, and everyone has to love you, despite what you do. And in the next section, that does not happen.
Ooh, I have another thing to say in the next section.
Really? In the next section, even?
Okay, well, I also have to say one thing. This is just my personal criticism that, or when she says to the captain, she's like, "Oh, you're gonna miss me. I'm just a cute, young, quirky girl, just sketching and muttering to myself. I'm so quirky and interesting and special."
I certainly never read that in this book, so you're gonna have to fill me in on where that was said.
She said it when they were like, "Oh, we're going to miss you, Lassie, when you leave the ship." And she says that.
He said it.
No, she says that part where she's just a young girl. Yeah, young girl on your ship, always sketching and muttering to herself. Like,
oh, so she said you weren't going to miss me. I wouldn't be getting in your hair anymore.
Yeah, but I read it all annoyed because I'm like, you're not that manic pixie dream girl you meet in the park. Like,
when did it say she was? Am I missing something here?
Maybe I'm reading too many Christmas movies, like
Christmas movies,
Christmas like Hallmark movies where they're just so special and cute. But
what? I don't even have the context for what you're saying anymore. I am so lost.
All right, then my one last thing about her is she's so like, I'm so ugly with my pale skin and my blue eyes and my red hair and my perfect but not too many freckles. I was like, you literally look like an ideal Instagram model. Like, why are you complaining about it? Like, thinking that she's so ugly with those features.
Yes.
It's like, I just hate people complaining about those.
Yes. Sheta, who has ever known an attractive woman to complain about her looks and downplay how attractive she actually is? That would never happen in real life.
Oh, I'm not saying it's not realistic. I'm saying that's annoying.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll agree with you on that.
When I have friends that talk like that, I'm like, bitch, shut up. That's what I'm saying. So I'm saying it in the most endearing way to this character.
That you relate to this character too much. That's what I'm hearing. Okay, got it, Sheta. Quippy girl who draws in the side and
oh my god,
says all these annoying things that piss everyone off all the time.
No, don't say that.
Super entitled. Yep. Never heard of that character before.
Calling me out. Oh my gosh.
Well, I'm very curious.
Am I a bitch? Do I say that?
No, my lass, we love having you on the ship.
Oh no, I've revealed my innermost thoughts and feelings.
We'll see. I'm curious to see what more you have to say about this character, Sheta.
All right. Getting back to the story, I just want to bring up a little bit thing with the money, because they were talking about that. Because here, their currency, they have these little spheres that are just a little bit bigger than like the size of like a thumbnail, and inside the spheres you have pieces of different gems, like diamond, ruby, emerald, sapphire, all sorts of different gems are inside, and also changes depending on the size of the gem. Like just a little chip of it goes in there, a little bit bigger, and all the way up to like a whole size of a gem. Yeah, and like diamonds are the cheapest. I think emeralds are the most expensive, and the other stuff's in the middle.
Sheta, while reading this part, I just thought that this would be the kind of money you'd be into.
I love it.
And
money
also
is
their money.
Those are my favorite kind of games.
Yeah, but it's always, metal. This is a whole complex, weird-ass thing.
Like rubies and jewels, like literally.
But even more pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah, because these ones, like, they get charged up with stormlight, so then they're glowing. So they also are able to use them for like light and being able to see and stuff. And then over time, that does dim so that they die and they're pretty much just dun spheres. But usually you want them with the Stormlight in them.
Yeah, but when they describe the reason that the money is actually valuable, I thought it was really interesting because that's why we had metals in the first place. But nowadays, money isn't worth anything. So when they're talking about how the properties in them can actually be used for specific functions, I thought that was super interesting.
Yeah, like they have
Like,
that actual value.
Yeah,
and
what was it?
usefulness.
One could like make food or something, or did I remember that right?
Yeah,
Wrong?
yeah.
Yeah. But soul casting.
Mm-hmm. I thought that was super interesting.
hmm I always wondered that. We used to trade and barter like with stuff, but like so that's why it was like gold and silver and stuff like that. But
Because it had
then it just
value.
turned into paper, and we're like,
Yeah. Well, now not even paper. Now just a number on a computer.
yeah, we are using cryptocurrency.
They just don't call it that.
Yeah, like most people don't even handle real money.
Mm-hmm. And soon enough, I'm sure it'll just not exist.
hmm
Well, at least here. I think in Japan, still 80% of their transactions are done with cash.
Are they really? Good for them.
Oh, yeah. So back to Shallan. And Shallan heads inside the building. She tells a person that she is here to see Shallan. And so they go to check on that. And while they're gone, Shallan thinks about how in the Vorin religion, a person takes a calling, which is a task that they dedicate their life to. Shallan had considered her art, since she loves sketching, but it's more of the studying that she is drawn to, so she has chosen natural history instead. She longs to be a true scholar, and that is part of the reason that she seeked out Jasnah to try and become her ward. And the person comes back, and they begin to lead Shallan to where Jasnah is. Shallan thinks about how when she had written to Jasnah, she did not expect her to reply affirmatively. And the letter that Jasnah sent back commanded Shallan to meet Jasnah in 2 weeks in the Dumadari. In Dumadari. And Shallan has been chasing, when she got there, Jasnah was gone, so she's been left a note telling her where to go. And since then, Shallan has been chasing her. She would get to one city, Jasnah's already left, and had to keep going. And she worries that Jasnah will force Shallan to renounce her faith when she becomes her ward. And Shallan's faith had been one of her refuges when her father had been at his worst. And right now, Shallan's father was dead, and that is a vital secret. And she doesn't like to think of that day, so she has blocked it from her mind. Her father had many promises and some business deals and bribes. House Davar owes a lot of money. If word got out that her father is dead, then the creditors would come.
Oh, so tell me what I'm missing here, because you said she was the princess from at the opening, right?
Jasnah is.
She's not a princess.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay, now I understand.
Yeah, Shallan's just a noblewoman from Yakaved. Shallan's a noblewoman from Yakaved. Jasnah is the princess of Alethkar. Two different countries.
Okay. That is more in line with what I remember reading. So, okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. So when the creditors come, Shallan's family would become bankrupt and her house would be consumed and subjugated to another house. They'd be worked to the bone, or they could be assassinated. So preventing all that depends on Shallan. And that's the end of the chapter.
This is funny. I'm a big Jane Austen fan, but every time the main characters are like, "Oh no, father is dead and the family wealth will be passed over to our half-brother and we'll have to, as women, marry well or else we'll have to be destitute and only have 2 serving girls and 1 man." Like
yeah, but she didn't say they'd only have 2 serving girls. They said they'd be killed.
I know, that's different. That's different. But they're always like, "Oh no, like we'll be poor and we'll have to work." Like,
yeah, no, I never have a lot of sympathy for those characters either.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that being raised in that environment, it would be very stressful and unhappy. But at the same time, I'm like, there's such a thing as a little too much luxury free time. And if anyone has it, it's the protagonists of Jane Austen novels.
Well, luckily, the most handsomest, richest bachelor is madly in love with her. So, even though sometimes it's her cousin. So, but that's.
I like the description of how their culture is to completely dedicate themselves to their work. I thought that was really interesting. Or how you've got to pick your one thing, and she was thinking about the art. I thought that was really fascinating, but she decided not to.
Yeah, that's like picking your major,
No, because you can switch
but
your
better.
major, and your major
But
nowadays doesn't
actually,
matter anymore. So,
yeah. Well, when you're in high school, you're like, oh no, I don't know what to major in.
hmm
I'm doing
I'll just
PSEO, but I don't
find
know.
myself.
Yeah. Does it ever say how old this girl is?
I believe she's 17.
Okay. Yep. Perfect. She's probably doing PSEO, trying to figure out her major for next year.
Not how I read it. Just saying.
She's like, I'm really good at art, but that's not going to get me a job. Like, I want. Like, sorry, this might be giving me flashbacks. So.
All right. Anything else in this chapter either of you two want to go over?
No.
And then I can't remember if it was this one or the next Shallan one, but there was one like small line of a world building thing that I thought was pretty cool. Where when Shallan was thinking of her hair, she's like, "Yep, it's red without even a lock of like black in it and stuff." Because pretty much on this planet, when you with hair, it's not like all right, you have parents, one's blonde, one's black hair. Your hair then winds up going one way. No, it's like parts of your hair. Some locks of your hair will be blonde, some locks will be black.
So what happens when your parents both have multicolored hair?
Then you'll probably get multicolored hair. It might be different percentages and stuff. Just because you'll
just like puppies.
Like who?
Like puppies or cats.
Is that how they work?
Yeah. If you have a gray and a orange cat, like some of them will be more like a gray cat or a
Wait, Joe, are you getting us to read like a Cat World thing here?
No, that was not the intention. I'm just
We
saying,
got like cat
Furry
boys
world.
here.
Oh. Yeah.
You'll just get some descriptions of people's hair that's gonna be like, yep, like mostly black with some gold in it. What it means, it's like it's mostly black hair, and then like some, locks of their hair are gold, or red hair with like some black in it and stuff like that. That's what it means.
I see. So they have like built-in highlights and stuff like that. That's cool. I would want to live
I'm going to
there.
be wary. I'm wary of you now. No one tricks me into being a furry.
You just hear the song, Jellicle Cats, Jellicle.
Yeah. Oh God, no.
When's Mr. Mustapha's coming in?
Hopefully never.
Well,
I will never forgive you, Joe.
Let's just get past that and move on to chapter 4. We need to get to the happy Kaladin chapters.
Those are my favorites, so yeah.
You don't have anything to say about him like you did with her, Sheta?
No, not like this.
I'm almost disappointed. The way you were talking, I was hoping you were going to say, I hate every character in this book.
Oh, I wasn't going to say that. I really,
I'm just
really
disappointed.
didn't like these chapters.
Just in all honesty, I'm expecting Sheta to say that she thinks that Kaladin's hot.
He is described as being hot, so that would be accurate.
Yeah. All the characters I like are described as being hot.
Okay, so chapter 4, called The Shattered Plains. Epigraph. I'm dying, aren't I? Healer, why do you take my blood? Who is that beside you, with his head of lines? I can see a distant sun, dark and cold, shining in a black sky. Collected 11 seconds pre-death. Subject was a Reshi Chul trainer. Sample is of particular note.
Oh, so now we know maybe the sample is blood.
Yeah, it's blood, but I'm sorry, you cut out, Joe. Tell me, this was the one where he said he saw something. Was like, why is that next to you or something like that, right?
Yeah, I'll just reread it. I'm dying, aren't I? Healer, why do you take my blood? Who is that beside you with his head of lines? I can see a distant sun, dark and cold, shining in a black sky. Collected 11 seconds pre-death. Subject was a Reshi Chul trainer. Sample is of particular note.
Yeah, that's really interesting to me because I was wondering why they're taking these samples, and it makes me think that he saw something beyond death, right? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, like there's no one next to him? That's creepy.
Or the sun thing, one of the comments, I couldn't know yet. But that they're trying to find something, and the samples are them trying to find something out, and that's why they were so fixated on how many seconds close to death they were, you know what I mean? Is because it has to do with that. That was kind of what I was thinking last time. This makes me think it even more. So I'm very curious about this.
Let me see. That's cool.
But yeah, they said blood, right?
Yep.
You just said. Yeah, so I was wondering if they were taking some other sample. Now we know it is blood they're taking, which, makes sense. But
maybe something's
Sure.
in their blood towards the end.
Could be. That's, yeah. Yeah, I wonder why. It's got to be some magical reason, something we don't
like,
know
right
about
you're
yet.
crossing over, you
Mhm.
get a little piece of heaven.
Yeah, maybe. Why would it get in your blood? Very curious about that.
We begin the chapter and Kaladin's riding the slave wagon, and the Windspren that's been following him asks him why he doesn't cry. And she points out that the other slaves cry at night. And he just
This is the
asks what
character
it
I
would
thought was going
change
to
if he
piss you
did.
off, Sheta, was the little fairy for
No.
being all quirky and cute.
See, now she is a thing, like a creature, so she's excused. This other girl is just a normal girl. Like, the fairy is confused. It's probably just becoming born. It has an excuse,
An excuse to what?
be annoying or weird and talk weird,
Yeah.
And Kaladin notices that the wagons are not stopping for afternoon slop, and wonders why. And eventually they do stop, and Tvlakov and the other slavers are arguing. Kaladin asks if he's lost, and Tvlakov comes over and he asks Kaladin if he knows this area, since the Alethi armies travel the area for war. Kaladin asks to see the map that he has.
I like afternoon slop. Like, it sounds like
Yeah.
afternoon tea, but it's slop. It's just funny.
So Kaladin asks to see the map, and Tvlakov shows it to him. And then Kaladin quickly snatches the map from him and rips it into pieces. And Tvlakov notes that, alright, cool, that was smart of you. You've now made yourself invaluable. And so Tvlakov offers to allow Kaladin to lead them, and he'll give him extra food each day. Then Kaladin's like, alright, so we need to go to a cliff, so you can see? No, so that way I can push you off of it. And Tvlakov tells Kaladin just keep that anger, because that will get Tvlakov more money when he sells him.
Oh, so Sheta, when you're rude to your servants, it's okay, it's bad, but when you're rude to your slaver, suddenly it's okay? Is that what I'm hearing?
What?
Your slave master. It's okay to be rude to your slave master, Sheta?
Yeah. Fuck him.
He's such a hypocrite.
I think it's different when you're rude to your slaves, Justin.
Wait, when you're rude to your slaves or your slave master? That's a very different sentence.
Yeah, no. Shallan was rude to her people serving under her, and this guy's rude to the guy enslaved. Oh, you're joking with me.
Of course. Oh my God, that's even a question? What kind of air do I put off if you have to ask that? You got
loose morals. Yeah.
I got loose morals.
You did like Ellen's dad a lot.
Straff did nothing wrong according to Justin.
Yeah, you're wearing that shirt right now.
I am currently wearing that shirt. How well would that merchandise sell, Joe, if I made that an official shirt to sell to people? And then wore it to the Cosmere convention and asked Brandon Sanderson a question while wearing it? Would I be escorted out?
Probably as well as if you made and tried to sell Greedo Shot First shirts at a Star Wars convention.
Jeez.
No, come on, not that bad.
Yeah.
So we're back. All right, so Kaladin, and he says that he doesn't want vengeance because he learned a long time ago that it doesn't work. And he thinks about how it has been 4 years since he joined Amaram's army, but has felt like a dozen.
I'm sorry, that's super interesting to me, that we're starting the story with the guy who's already learned that vengeance does not quell the feelings and anger and pain or undo anything.
What's the story going to be about?
Yeah, usually that's the story, so I found that very interesting to start with.
He was also, 19 years old, and he was in Amaram's army for 4 years.
Yeah, same age as that kid that died, that he tried to save.
And Tvlakov says that Kaladin is still young, so he might be able to pay off his slave debt or even get a master to free him. Kaladin says that Tvlakov doesn't believe that, because otherwise you would be worried about your former slaves becoming free. And Tvlakov responds that he doesn't worry, because there are higher people that would be higher on Kaladin's hit list. And he figures that Kaladin would first hunt down the person that sold him to slavery, High Lord Amaram. And if something happens to Amaram, then Tvlakov would know it's time to run. And Kaladin's surprised that Tvlakov knows about Amaram since he has been sold a half dozen times since then. And Kaladin tells Tvlakov that, yeah, I actually don't know this area. After Tvlakov leaves, Kaladin tells the Windspread that he almost finds himself liking Tvlakov. He's still a bastard, but he's a likable bastard.
I felt the same way. I'm so mad at him when I'm in Kaladin's shoes and he's like, maybe you could escape one day. There's reasons that you should help me out. I thought it was very funny.
Mm-hmm. Those are the worst kind of boyfriends. They're gonna be an ex soon.
Well, it's also super interesting because, a guy who's worked with slaves a lot would have a sense to how to talk their language, what they value, how they think, usually people who are in that situation. So I think it's interesting that he's not just shut up, slave, like a cartoon villain character. He's a whole, or like, I can read a map myself, deserves, everything he gets. It's just really interesting to see.
And one part that I found it's pretty interesting from this whole paragraph or this whole section was that saying that the person who sold him to slavery was High Lord Amaram. And that's the army that Kaladin was in. So it wasn't a case where Kaladin lost a battle to some other army and this army took them as slaves and sold them. Kaladin was sold into slavery by the person in charge of the army that he was in.
Well, that would piss me off too.
Yeah. Especially if they won you the war or whatever battle. You're like, all right, I'm done with you.
I don't think he won that battle. It sounded like it went real bad.
I don't know.
And then we cut a little bit later, and a high storm is hitting the caravan. And the slave wagons, they kind of have these wooden panels that they put up on the walls on the outside of the cages to protect them from the high storms. And high storms are super powerful storms, kind of like a hurricane. And they're so powerful they can even lift up and throw giant rocks. And they can be predicted for when they come. And like even that map that Tvlakov had kind of had the dates for when the upcoming high storms were going to be. And as the storm settles down, Bluth comes and takes down the wooden panels, so that way, at this point, it's just raining, but the rain's able to come in and wash off the slaves. Kaladin wonders why these are being removed so early, and Bluth says that Tvlakov wants them extra clean today. So Kaladin figures that means that they must be arriving at their destination.
I always think it's interesting finding the balance between treating your slaves inhumanly and then thinking of them like cattle where you got to get them all presentable and stuff. It's such a bizarre, fascinating situation for me. So I really like watching them explore it and stuff.
Yeah, but they don't wash them. They're like, this is easier.
Mm-hmm.
Just open the roof.
Well, what are you going to do? With an animal, you can wash it. It's just going to listen. But with a human, every situation you put them in, they're going to try to escape, right? So I find that interesting to have to think about.
And then as the wagons begin moving again, Kaladin tells the Windspread that he saw others of her kind and asks if she wants to go with him. She says no and that she likes it here. And she says that she saw others like him, and Kaladin figures that means that they are near civilization. And he looks out of the wagon and he sees a Lethe army camp spread out with thousands of different banners. And he also spots the blue and white banner of House Kholin, the king's house. And the land in front of the armies are settled at this area, and the land in front of it, it looks like someone just took a plate, dropped it, shattered it, and made chasms between the lands. They have arrived in the shattered plains. Kaladin had spent years trying to get here and fight in the king's army. The other slaves are excited about arriving here because it means that they will be under a Lethe law. Here, slaves must be paid, and the king even treats his slaves better. In the Lethe law, all slaves must be paid half wages. The only slaves that are not paid are Ardents, but they cannot own any property anyways, and also Parshmen, but they are more animal than anything else.
I'm so curious to learn if this is true. Everyone keeps saying it.
Then it must be true.
Then it must be true.
Everyone's saying it.
I guess you're right. I can't argue with that.
And slaves, they could also take their earnings, and instead of getting it paid to them, they can have it paid off towards their slave debt. But Kaladin figures that that's all a sham.
You feel like him.
Yeah. Like, right. Sure, right in my pocket.
Well, they say in a second when they're like, sometimes they charge them for food and board and all this shit, right?
Yeah. Just like, okay, here's the bill. Here was how much it was for your food. So, yeah. No way. No way.
Yeah, and in the past, Kaladin had demanded his wages, but his masters always found ways to cheat him. All the Lighties he has known, Rashon, Amaram, Katarotom, they have all been corrupt to the core. The other slaves talk about justice in the king's army, but Kaladin isn't convinced. However, he still longs to hold the spear and to fight. He wants to become the man he had once been, a man who cared, and this would be the best place to find it. And that's the end of that chapter.
I just always really enjoy, as I said, getting to see like slave lives, horrible lives like that. I always find it very interesting in these kind of stories.
Well, yeah, you get to really explore things
Horrible things.
if they sucked that bad, and then you figure out these different ways to do things.
Mm-hmm. And you can't help but put yourself in there and try to think, would I be able to keep my willpower up, or would I give up, you know? And it's interesting in a guy like this who is acting like he's given up, but he hasn't, you know?
Again, I think that's going to be a big theme in the book.
Oh, yeah? Did you say that last time?
Yeah, I did. Giving up and stuff instead of, or not giving up in really hard situations.
All right, so we'll go on to Chapter 5, called Heretic. Epigraph. I have seen the end, and have heard it named, the Night of Sorrows, the True Desolation, the Everstorm. Collected 15 seconds pre-death. Subject was a dark-eyed youth of unknown origin.
Sorry, Joe, what year is it now when we're following, like?
Oh, good question.
Let's see.
Because I was like, are these death journals chronicling the deaths of all the characters in the books? Like, is the dark-haired youth Kaladin?
Right. I think it's either 1172 or 1173.
Uh-huh.
And what year did it say?
It said 1172. So it's.
I doubt that it's going to be the deaths of all of our main characters. That'd be pretty depressing.
My theory was that it was characters in or around our main characters, maybe even characters that they pass or something like that.
Mm-hmm. That's interesting. We'll have to keep watching for that.
Yeah. But I did think that the pregnant woman who's the child not survived, like, I wondered if the child was like Kaladin's child or something.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Also, I guess 1172 would have been chapter 1. So right now it's 1173. Because you have that whole 8-month jump.
Yeah, so I thought the dark-haired youth was going to be the kid from the army battle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it made me think that.
We're back with Shallan, and we start off, and Shallan is shocked to see how beautiful Jasnah Kholin is. She had expected Jasnah to be an ugly spinster since she is in her mid-30s and unmarried.
Was that the part, Sheta? Was that the part that made you think, what a bitch?
Yeah, it's basically anything that comes out of her mouth, I think, is so bitchy.
Well, she didn't say that.
In her thoughts, yeah.
Yeah.
Everything she thinks, I just do not think she's a nice person.
And Shallan notices the jewelry that Jasnah is wearing on her free hand. It is 2 rings and a bracelet connected by several chains with a group of gemstones across the back of the hand. It is a soul caster. It looks just like the one they had found on her father's person after he died. And Shallan thinks that the Ardentia must hate that a holy relic is held by a known heretic like Jasnah. And the way the soulcaster gets described, it always just kind of makes me think a little bit of Karapika from Hunter x Hunter.
Justin?
I do not remember how his thing worked.
Well, his thing's a little different because he had chains on all 5 fingers, and this one just goes from the wrist to 2 fingers.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, Jasnah is talking with an older man who has a long white beard, and Shallan realizes that this guy is the king of Kharbranth, Taravangian. And Jasnah is telling him that this may bring unfavorable reaction from the devotees, and that the Ardents have much sway here, but Taravangian says that so do I. Jasnah agrees to his terms and tells him to lead the way. She also says for him to excuse her as they walk, because she has someone to attend to, and she motions Shallan over. And Shallan is shocked to see that the king defers to Jasnah. Kharbranth is a small city-state, while Alethkar is one of the most powerful kingdoms, so it seems that an Alethi princess outranks the king of Kharbranth. And Shallan begins by apologizing for missing Jasnah in Dumadari, but Jasnah says that she never expected to meet her there. Jasnah says that she is impressed by Shallan's tenacity to follow, and she had assumed that, Shallan had given up by now. But she says that she will allow Shallan to petition her for wardship. Shallan's shocked at it's just petitioning her, but Jasnah says that she had only agreed to meet her. She didn't actually agree to take her on as a ward. So as they're walking, Jasnah is asking about Shallan's education, and Shallan says that she's extensive in some areas but lacking in others. Jasnah asks about music, and Shallan, she says that she's good with some instruments and can sing, and so Jasnah has Shallan sing a bit of a song from memory. Jasnah asks about languages, and Shallan says that she can speak Alethi and Azish, and she can read Thaylen, and she can also make herself understood in Silay, but she cannot read it. Jasnah asks about writing, and Shallan speaks about what she can write, and that she can do glyphs and stuff, and Jasnah brushes that off.
This was my favorite part because when they started talking, I'm like, oh, they're just gonna go through like two things and then get to the end of it. But they kept going, and I super appreciated that. I really wanted to hear every random field of study that they're knowledgeable about. I found it super weirdly interesting.
And Shallan points out that, hey, my writing was good enough to get you interested in the first place, and Jasnah notes that is a valid point, and it took you long enough to be able to make it. Jasnah asks about the arts. Shallan says that she's accomplished in mathematics, and she names a few authors that she's read. And Jasnah names some other authors, but Shallan doesn't recognize any of them.
Yeah, this is what it feels like when you go to a bigger pond.
And Jasnah asks about history, and Shallan says that that's where she's deficient in, which Jasnah responds is that's an embarrassing hole. And Shallan feels like Jasnah's expectations are just unreasonable.
Entitled.
To me, this always felt like the complaint people have about trying to enter the job market, where they want you to have all this experience when you have never had the potential to have a job yet,
Yeah.
Like, that's always a complaint I hear. I've never been in those fields, so I have no idea how valid that is or if that's just whining. But I hear it all the time, so I thought it was funny to hear it in this back in times or medieval type setting too.
I didn't think of that, but that's funny. I'll wait for Joe to finish, and I'll say my piece.
I'm so excited, Sheta. You have no idea.
Jasnah asks about science, and Shallan explains that she's good at what is to be expected, but she says that if Jasnah wants more, then you will be disappointed. Jasnah responds that she has reasonable demands, but Shallan says that they are not reasonable, and Jasnah seems to want her wards to be masters already.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Jasnah asks if Shallan speaks to her parents like this, and Shallan apologizes. And then Jasnah asks if Shallan's mother thought she was ready for this wardship, and Shallan says that her mother passed away when she was a child. But Jasnah points out that, yeah, but your father has remarried. Shallan's shocked that Jasnah knows this, but she also says that her stepmother passed away recently. And Jasnah does bring up that Shallan is the 12th woman to ask for wardship this year.
Yep. That's my thing.
Which thing?
This is the main character syndrome where you think, I am the main character and I should get this job, I should get this position. I was like, you are not the only person in the world who has skills and you're not special. And this lady is, and you are trying to get in her favor. I thought it was so rude of her to snap at her, But I was like, yeah, obviously she's trying to.
She agrees with you, Sheta.
Yeah, she is trying to make you mad. She's trying to be unfair, She's trying to test.
I wonder, do you think so? Do you think this is more of a test, or do you think she's just being bluntly honest with her? You think so?
No, of course. The way she tests her people is to say, yeah, meet me here, and then leave. And then, okay, and now I'm here. She makes them chase her around the world. Like, it's all a test for her. And then for her to not.
Yeah, I was wondering that too. I was curious. I thought we'd probably see by next chapter, because it could be a test, or she could just legitimately be that busy and see this as that little of level of importance.
Like she said, she gets dozens of requests for her time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's just so entitled to think that it would be you and that you would be special at all. Like,
and
to snap at her, like.
That's going to tell us a lot about the character, so I'm really curious to see the answer to that.
I hope she will learn at the end, like, what a folly it was for her to act like that.
I would like to point out that by the end of this chapter, I don't think it's just entitlement. It's also a bit of desperation, because she has to become the ward.
Yeah, so
not
then
like,
that's why I'm like,
I deserve this because I need it. It's, I have to get this, otherwise my family will die.
That's what I'm saying. If she's so desperate, she should eat shit. She should not just, like, get mad about it. If she's that desperate, like I would be like more humble and begging instead of snippy and bitchy about it. That's
Well, I
another reason
wonder how
why.
that would come off too, because somebody like this, I'm gonna guess begging and humility would be one of the most annoying things to her,
Well, no, not to that, not to where you like debase yourself, but like a respectful, more wise. I just don't think it's wise to argue like that or snap like that. I think it would be wiser to be like, well, I'm a fast learner and whatever, like, whatever you want out of me, like I have that capability and I'm your
hmm
person you want to
Yeah,
hire,
but she told her not to lie.
Well, it's not a lie.
If you, to lie and say I'm a fast learner, I can do everything you need, that could be a lie from this character. We don't know.
Well, that's just an example. Say
Mhm.
what, you know.
And
No,
and then the group
sorry,
what?
good.
All right. And then the group arrive at a hallway that has a large rock blocking it. Taravangian explains that the rock fell during the recent high storm, and his granddaughter is trapped on the other side. Jasnah has some servants go get some wash rigs and bring them. And she asks Shallan, "How would you determine the size of this rock?" And Shallan says, well, "I just asked one of the architects, since they likely already measured it." And Shallan agrees and says a scholar must not waste time rediscovering information that's already known. And after she's told the size and everyone gets to like their wash rigs and stuff, they put it up to their face, and Jasnah goes to the rock and presses her free hand with the soulcaster against it. And Shallan's excited to see a soulcaster used, because usually the soulcasters who use them, they are usually used in secret, so you don't actually see it. In fact, they didn't even know that their father had a soulcaster before he had died. And then the gems begin to glow. That the gems on Jasnah's soulcaster, they begin to glow, and she sees Jasnah's hand sneak into the rock, and then the rock turns into smoke, and the smoke billows throughout the entire room. After the smoke clears and they get Taravangian's granddaughter and the others who are trapped out, Jasnah says that Shallan will not like her judgment. But Shallan says that Jasnah's not done yet with her evaluation, because she hasn't asked about the feminine arts like painting and drawing. But Jasnah says that she has no use for them. And Shallan responds that they are still of the arts, and she had even brought her portfolio to show them.
Oh no.
But Jasnah says that that's all frivolity and that she cannot accept Shallan. And then she heads off to the Palanaeum to study. Shallan thinks about how 6 months of chasing has led to this. At the start, she would have cried, but she has changed since then. She has determination and won't stop until Jasnah forces her to. Shallan thinks of the plan that she had explained to her brothers 6 months ago. She would apprentice herself to Jasnah, but not for education or prestige. It would be so that she could learn where Jasnah kept the soulcaster and steal it. And that's the end of the chapter.
You see, that's where I agree with you, Sheta. Because I think that's a fucking stupid plan if you're not a thief who knows what they're doing,
Yep.
So
I was like,
I totally
seriously?
disagreed with everything you were
No.
saying up to
Nope.
now, but I do agree with that. I think
I was
if you
valid.
think you're even capable of stealing from somebody like this, who seems very I don't know, very put together and knows what she's doing, you're a fucking moron. That's what I think. And that you could get away with it even more so. That's my thought.
I don't know what she's thinking with this plan.
Oh, desperation, like Joe said. That's what I think. Thinking is probably not the strongest part of it.
Why didn't her brother stop her and be like, "That's asinine"? No, like we'll figure something else out. Like,
Unless her brothers are involved in the plan and they're going to come in later and there's actually more to it than we're seeing.
I
That could
think
be
her
interesting.
brothers are stupider than she is. They laugh at her jokes. So I'm just kidding.
Well, to be fair,
I'm
Shita, we did
sorry.
not hear what she does to make fun of these other people. If it's anything like the stuff in her head about, I thought she'd be an ugly fat bitch because she's a lonely cat lady, I think she might be funnier than you're giving her credit for.
Well, that's unintentional. That's just
Well, yeah, bitch people are often quite funny just by being an asshole. So
yeah.
if I was those brothers, I'd probably be laughing up a storm when you're making fun of Aunt Marge coming over,
Yeah. Oh, yo.
Anything else in this chapter you two want to go over?
Well, I just hope that this character is um supposed to be like obviously oblivious or not to like the slave stuff and the politics, but just that she's kind of gonna have a Vena's story where she learns how to be a better person at the end. and that it would be that she is purposely meant to be annoying. I don't know. I I I wonder because like Brandon Sanderson does a really good job of making really hateable characters, you know. So I just wondered if this was for me to hate, and it's on purpose.
You know, I'm actually not that big a fan of the Brandon Sanderson quirky spunky girl character, but I don't find this character annoying, Sheta.
Oh
She
my
just seems
god.
kind of straightforward to me. I haven't heard anything you know, I'm going to come paint in the King's Hall and act all quirky, that kind of stuff, you know.
Those ones are more cartoony. This one I think is just so much more realistic or trying to be more serious, and I just don't like.
Yeah. I'm curious to see. I'm really curious to see she gets rejected and she's like, "No, I'm just not going to get rejected." Is this a situation where the other woman's just being really straightforward like she seems like? Or is this like in Fight Club where you tell the people trying to join up with the Project Mayhem that they can't and make them sit outside for 3 days to make sure you get really committed people?
Yeah, no,
Just like
makes
you
it
were saying.
like it's a test. I would
Yeah,
like
like
it
you
if
were
it wasn't a test.
I
I'd be
don't
like,
think it is. I don't think it
"Mhm."
is. I don't think that the not being around thing is a test, like you're saying, even though it very well could be. I just think that's how the level of importance that this taking on an apprentice thing has compared to all the other shit she's got to do is, you know, that's how I read it, but I have no evidence of that.
I thought she said it was a test. Does she not?
The original time when she left, yes, because she knew she wasn't going to be there by the time Shallan showed up.
Okay.
And like she said that at Kharbranth, she figured that Shallan would have, since she didn't catch up to her by that point, she figured, she probably gave up at some point. So she was not going to leave another note whenever she left Kharbranth. So at least the initial city was a test. Since then, don't know.
I think it would be funnier if it wasn't a test. He's like, "What are you still doing here?"
I bet that a lot of interns and apprentices and stuff have just refused to go away long enough, you know?
Yeah, but like this isn't an anime. Like you gotta or like Kill
Oh, no, I
Bill.
mean in real life, you know.
Yeah, I know. I just and they're like, you know what? You got spunk, kid. Sure. Go get
No,
my
that's not what
coffee.
I'm saying. Just before they know it, they wound up teaching them some stuff, and they're like, I guess I have an apprentice.
That sounds really annoying. But I feel like if they let everyone like that in, they would have too many people like that.
If they let everyone like what?
Everyone who wouldn't leave, you know?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I think the vast majority of people would leave, you know, because it would be really senseless and assholey to stay around.
I don't know.
I don't know either. I've never tried to force somebody to teach me something, so.
All right, and then we'll go on to our last chapter for today, the nice uplifting chapter, Chapter 6, Bridge 4.
I don't remember this chapter being that uplifting, Joe. Did I read the right one?
I thought it was pretty uplifting.
Did you? Oh, you mean literally uplifting like a bridge? Is that what you're saying?
No.
Are you doing a dad joke, Sheta?
Yeah, I'm not doing a dad joke. No, I'm just like her.
All right. And there was a picture in there that was pretty much the picture was a rubbing of the Sadius war camp. So you kind of get an idea about the layout of everything. And then epigraph. I'm cold. Mother, I'm cold. Mother? Why can I still hear the rain? Will it stop? Collected 32 seconds pre-death. Subject was a light-eyed female child, approximately 6 years old. Chapter begins, and Tvlakov lets all the slaves out of their cages as they are prepared to be sold. As they are walking through the war camps, Kaladin is surprised to see that the soldiers are not as disciplined as he would have thought, and that their clothes are kind of unkempt. A slave nearby is glad that they will get to be in the king's army, so this will likely mean easy work, like cleaning latrines or maintaining roads. Kaladin just hopes that he will get to use the spear again and given an enemy to fight. Tvlakov talks to a woman named Hishal, and Kaladin thinks that she kind of looks like Laurel did at the end. Hishal walks over to inspect the slaves herself and notes they are half-starved and sickly. But she does note that Kaladin looks stronger than the rest and questions if he was military. He says that he was in Amaram's army. And she looks at his forehead and she steps back when she sees the Shosh brand. And Kaladin just wants to be able to fight again, so he lies and says that he got the brand because he got drunk and killed a man. But then Tvlakov steps in and says that Kaladin was actually a deserter. And and Tvlakov says that he wouldn't trust Kaladin with a weapon because he is known to disobey and lead rebellions. And he says that the other men in his wagon may have been corrupted by him as well. And so Hishal says that they do need new bridgemen. As he's leaving, Tvlakov tells Kaladin that, I had to do that because the people would blame me if Kaladin did anything, and Tvlakov apologized. And Kaladin's just upset that now he'll be given the task of building bridges instead of being able to fight. Hishal gives most of the slaves forest duty and others to work in the mess hall, but all the men from Kaladin's wagon are sent to the bridge crews. And she tells the people to tell Lamoral and Gaz that Kaladin is to be given special treatment. As Kaladin is brought through the camp, he sees the banners are for High Prince Sadeas, which is the High Prince from the area that Kaladin lived. And he sees that the camp streets are just littered with refuse. He also sees that there are Parshmen doing work in the camp, and Kaladin is surprised because they are fighting Parshmen. So wouldn't these Parshmen rise up? But these Parshmen still seem as docile as the ones back home. And Kaladin is brought to a man named Gaz, who's missing an eye, and also not wearing an eye patch at all.
That was gross. Even I agree.
And one part I liked about this, too, is the Wenspren that's with him. When she's looking at Gaz, she's, covering up one eye with her hand. And Kaladin tries to tell Gaz that he has military training, but Gaz just gets upset and says that he doesn't think that Kaladin has ever actually held a spear. And he calls Kaladin his lordship. And then horns begin to go off, and Gaz tells the other slaves that came with Kaladin to wait to be assigned. But Kaladin, he is going to Bridge 4 right now. So Kaladin gets set to a group of men, and with them, there's a 30 by 8 foot bridge made of wood. And looking around, he can see that there are about 40 or 50 bridges total, and about 20 of them are being lined up for duty. And he sees that most of the men around, they're kind of wearing these leather vests. And Gaz asks the bridge for their bridge leader, but he is told that the bridge leader had tossed himself down the honor chasm last night.
That is such a hilarious introduction to this idea.
Yeah. Oh, okay. This was so fun and chaotic and exciting.
I'm sorry, did you say fun?
Did I?
Yes.
Well, it was fun to get all the information all quick like this. I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
I just see myself getting shuffled around and then noticing all these things. Like, they have these vests. Like, where's my vest? Like, what are we doing?
Mm-hmm.
And trying to observe, like, just quickly looking around. There's like a bunch of bridges and people, and it just is confusing and exciting.
Yeah, I agree. I like the way this was written. I felt the chaos of it.
Mm-hmm. And like, you're in a kind of like the backstage of a war camp, like it sounds so like I've never seen anything like this in a war thing. So it was really fun. Where it is not the center. You're like, backstage crew, the lowest person on the
Well, I guess it's somewhat similar to like the scene in Ben-Hur where they're like having just row the ship.
Yeah.
They're just slaves. They're just rowing. They're not on top. They're not directing anything. It's all you get is just the guy banging the
I'd
drum.
rather do that than what they're doing here.
Yeah, you don't even.
That is. Yeah. I'm just saying that similar, like just seeing somebody on such a low rung, is like that.
You don't know where you're going, what you're doing, who you're helping. Like what your part is, or very little about it.
Yep, and so the men, they lift up the bridge, and underneath the bridge, there's like these little slots for you to be able to put your head, and then you set the bridge like on your shoulders. And then the men are manually running this bridge. And they run, and they keep on running, and keep on running. And since Kaladin, he doesn't have a shirt or a vest or anything, the bridge is rubbing against his flesh, and it begins rubbing it raw, and he starts bleeding and stuff. And since Kaladin has no shoes, his feet begin to bleed from all this barefoot running. And there's a man that's standing next to Kaladin as they're running, and he gives Kaladin the advice to breathe in and out slowly and to count the steps as you're going, because it does help. And after over an hour of torture and running, they get to a chasm, so they have to set down the bridge to bridge the gap, and then the army behind them crosses the bridge. And whilst Kaladin's there, he sees a man that's wearing red shard plate, And he asks, "Is that the king?" But then the nice bridgeman that he was standing next to laughs, and he says that they all wish it was, because if that was the king, that would mean that they were in Bright Lord Dalinar's army, the king's uncle. And he says that Dalinar is the most honorable shard bearer in the army, and it is said that he has never broken his word, which Kaladin dismisses since the same had been said about Amaram. The nice bridgeman also says that Dalinar does not use bridge crews. And then they're told to pick up the bridge and keep going, and Kaladin's shocked that this is not the end, and in fact, they have barely begun. So they keep lifting up the bridge, put it on their shoulders, run, get to another chasm, put it down. They keep doing this over and over again for like a dozen times. And after one of the crossing, Gaz tells everyone to switch. So now people in the back row are put in the front. But now that he's in front, Kaladin, he puts his head there. The front is open so he can actually see. He's getting a nice breeze. So he's like, oh man, this is nice. And that nice bridgeman that was next to him curses and says that this is going to be a bad one because they are already lined up. And that's when Kaladin sees that on the next plateau that they are running to, the Parshendi are right there waiting and have bows ready. And then the archers begin loosing arrows and killing the bridgemen, including that nice bridgeman that was next to Kaladin.
No.
And the bridgeman on the other side of Kaladin also gets hit by an arrow, but it does not kill him. Instead, he falls and gets trampled to death by the bridgeman behind him. The Parshendi, they loose more arrows, and everyone else in the front row dies. And Kaladin, as he's running, he can hear that other bridges are also being shot, and he hears one collapse. Eventually, they are able to arrive at the chasm. They set down the bridge, and after they set it down, Kaladin just collapses onto the ground. Some time passes, and the Windsprint is yelling at Kaladin to wake up, because, otherwise they will leave him behind and he'll die. He doesn't get up, so she hits him, and that wakes him up. He looks around, and he can see that bridgemen are checking the bodies of those that had died. And Kaladin asks that Windsprint if she has a name. He looks around the battlefield, and it appears as if Sadeas has won this battle. And on the other plateau where they were fighting, he sees that there's a large 20-foot-tall chrysalis or shell that has been hacked open. And the Windsprint says that she does have a name, and she questions why she has a name. And she tells him that her name is Silfrena. And she says that she's also called Sil, and she finds it funny that she has a nickname.
That's weird.
And Kaladin's able to find that nice bridgeman, and he takes his vest and sandals from him. Gaz is upset when he sees that Kaladin is still alive, and Kaladin realizes that he was put in the front because he was supposed to die. And battle's done, they carry the bridges back, but since, they're not running to a battle, they're able to go slower, and some soldiers are even made to have to lift up and carry the bridges. And Kaladin feels like he has hit rock bottom and nothing worse could have happened to him, but he was wrong. There was something worse, and it was Bridge 4.
Yeah, I certainly wouldn't want to be doing this. This sounded fucking horrible.
Yep, so, anything else do you want to go over with this happy chapter?
Yeah, fun, like Sheta said.
It was fun.
Oh, yeah.
It was so exciting to read, and it was, and I liked all the weird little things you learned, like how the bridges were made to be carried like that with nice, convenient handholds and places you can put your head in and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I always think it's like just like you were interested in all the the ins and outs of run in these kind of things in war stuff, made up war stuff. Like the bridges, I think are a thing because of all the cliffs that they have to run across. Like there's chasms, so you can't you can't you don't want to go around a whole chasm and stuff. So this was invented, and it's really clever and stuff. Just like the real life kind of things that are kind of like that, like the ladders and stuff like that we have in real life.
I feel like this is probably based on something,
Do you think so?
Yeah,
well,
it seems
too
clever to not be, or what am I trying to say?
It is based on something that happened in real life. I mean, already the ladders and the how you move your army and stuff like that is probably a thing. I just like seeing it.
Yeah, I agree.
I think he's gonna excel at this job.
You think he's gonna be like in Gladiator? And
Yeah.
just rise
He's
up
gonna
through
rise.
his sheer
Yeah, rise to the top.
competence.
He's gonna get the. He's gonna figure out how to do this best without killing his men or tiring them out. He's gonna become a
Yeah,
leader of Bridge 4.
I
The
was
best
actually
bridge
thinking that as
crew.
well.
Yeah. His people follow him because he keeps them alive, you know?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah, I completely agree.
Yeah, this chapter just also kind of reminds me of that Pewter Drake chapter from the Final Empire with Vin running and just being exhausted, but she has to keep running. To me, it felt like that, but kind of turned up. Even more torturous.
Yeah.
And there was also the little bit of a mention of Dalinar Kholin, the king's uncle, and same thing, he had a brief mention in the prologue. When the prologue, as Zeth was walking through, he said that, oh, there's Dalinar Kholin, the king's brother, drunk, passed out at a table.
Oh, that's him. Okay. I feel like these nobles are not good people.
You feel like nobles aren't good people, Sheta?
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna be
That's
very nice.
insane. We all
I
know
know.
nobles are bred of better stock than other men.
Yeah. So it's really surprising.
It's really surprising.
Yeah.
And Sheta, have
You
you
think-
seen their eye color?
Yeah. And Sheta, you think nobles in a Brandon Sanderson book might not be the best of people?
Yeah. That's why I'm like, maybe this girl is a villain. She's here to torture me. Yeah, I'm sorry if you like the character. It's just not for me.
No, she's not. Sheta, you have seen this character for a chapter and a half. You
And
can't.
it was the longest chapters I've ever read in my life.
That can't be true.
I audibly
You
went,
read Ready
"Oh."
Player 2, Sheta.
Bridge 4
Well-
was longer.
Well, I am expected to read 2 more of these and a whole thick ass book more of this character. So and it's the only other main character that we're following. So I'm really
I'm sure we'll
worried.
get more.
Like,
All right,
but
anything
I
else from this
don't-
chapter?
oh god. No, just excited to see more of Kaladin rising up in the ranks. Something
Alright.
happened to make me like that girl.
You know they
No,
will.
she has a name.
Shedden.
Shallan.
Sheta?
Yep, that was the name. That's it. You got it.
Shallan.
All right. And so let's move over to our theories and predictions segment then.
I already said I think that they're collecting the samples and trying to scientifically study something about crossing over from life to death. What comes after? Maybe it's tied to, well, not maybe, it's very likely tied to when the soldier guys from the beginning die and they would go to a place, it's probably tied to that in some way.
That's the bigger theory that you have?
That's really my only theory.
Okay.
Well, here, let me ask a question or two. So, first question will be, will Shallan be able to convince Jasnah to make her ward?
I think she's going to force her way to, like I said, like whether you want to or not, I'm just going to keep following you and helping you and learning from you until you just accept that I am now your ward. That's my assumption.
I don't know why, but I don't think that Jasnah's gonna live that long. I think somehow she's going to be killed and die, and then Shallan's gonna quick pick up that soul casting stone or soul caster and kind of declare herself the new owner of it. Just called dibs, I guess, She's like,
I don't
she's
know that
thinking-
that's how it works.
Well, you take it and you run away with it, or no one's gonna, in the chaos of her assassination, she's gonna take
Wait,
it.
she's going to get assassinated?
Yeah.
You said that so like, yep, once she's assassinated, of course.
Yeah, that's what I mean. She's not gonna live long. Yeah. I just have a feeling. I don't know.
So who assassinates her?
Oh, one of the armies. People like, no one likes this lady. She has enemies. Like heretic. She's called a heretic from those people, and then she's a threat to the other people. So, yep.
Wait, what are the other people?
The gorilla people that they're
The
fighting.
gorilla people.
Yeah.
The Parshendi?
Yes.
Where'd you get gorilla? They're red and black, like marbled.
They looked like gorillas and chimps in the covers.
The Chinese cover.
Yeah, they look kind of beastly, so that's why I call them that.
All right. Well, I guess Sheta already answered this. We'll ask Justin. Will Shallan steal the Soulcaster?
I don't think so. I think something's going to happen that's going to totally change the situation she's in.
I think she has to, because otherwise, what would her story be? She's so annoying. It's okay. No. We will have to have her learn how to use it and stuff like that, and that'll be the story.
If she is going to steal it, it's going to be in a big complex heist with her brothers. That's what I said before. I stay by it.
Her brothers weirdly didn't go with her, so I think they're like,
What
okay,
do you
cool.
mean? Why would they have gone with her?
Why wouldn't they? Why wouldn't one of them?
No, not
accompany
why
her?
wouldn't they? Why would they?
Because it's their sister, and I would be worried about her, and I would
You
want to
don't
help
think
her.
they have... You don't know anything about their situation, their duties, their role, and their place they're from?
I guess not, but if I had a brother who supposedly loved my jokes and wouldn't come with me on this trip, I would be a little bit sad.
They're also trying to make sure people don't realize their father's dead.
Yeah, they've got to dress him up and carry him around like Weekend at Bernie's, Sheta. They're very busy.
We got this, and they're just puppeting the dad.
Yeah. You're my favorite son. No, you're my favorite son. As they fight between it, it's a whole comedy thing.
Oh,
yeah,
sounds
real good
hilarious.
stuff. Oh yeah.
All right, and the Kaladin chapter, well, you guys already answered what you think's going to happen with him rising up in the ranks and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was having the same thought, and I completely agree.
Will he rise up enough to be able to be given a spear and fight like he wants?
I think he's going to learn that fighting for some random lord isn't actually what he wants, because his talents, even though he seems good at fighting, they seem to be more with noticing and caring about others to me,
It depends if that one-eyed guy lives or dies. If he dies, then our guy can take charge of the whole thing and then be given a spear.
No question he's dead. He is going to die for sure.
You don't think they're going to learn to see eye to eye and he's going to be impressed with him and they become best friends?
If they do, that's just going to mean he dies even harder.
Because, yeah, I feel like Kaladin is a pretty friendly guy, able to make friends wherever, even with his enemies. So
well, people seem to want to be his friend all the time.
Yeah, they like him. He has high charisma.
However, this guy in charge sucks. He said it. He risked the whole mission, of having a guy fall over and stuff. And, there has to be a better way to run this. There just has to be,
Yeah. Ooh, I'm excited for him to take charge of all the bridge crew and then make it really cool.
That's my expectation.
Yeah. Yeah, he'll turn the bridge crew actually into the vanguard, and then he will get a spear.
Maybe a mixture of the two, because it's just inefficient to have so many men die so easily,
Yeah. I would hate to be a soldier who just fought and then survived and then had to run the freaking bridge back home.
Wouldn't you rather do that than die?
Yeah, but you're so tired, and I'm sure it's just the poor soldiers that have to do that too,
No, but they even said the guys who get to run it back, you get to do it in a more relaxed pace.
Oh, yay. I'd rather be the guy on the horse that just kind of did nothing.
Any other theories that you want to throw out there?
I don't know, but I wonder if these two characters will ever meet and how. I don't think they will.
With 3 gigantic books, you don't think they'll ever meet? I feel like they have to. I would be shocked if they didn't.
Why would they meet?
Well, couldn't you say that about any of the characters in these books?
And then some of them didn't meet. I don't remember if, none of the girls. Well, Vivenna never met Blushweaver, stuff like that.
Yeah, but Blushweaver wasn't the main character. However, I don't think she ever met Lightsong, so I think you're correct there, actually.
Yeah.
Raoden and Rathan never spoke a word to each other.
Yeah, see, there we go.
Yeah, but they saw each other.
They saw each other because he was totally crushing on his woman. That was so funny. I would have liked more interaction with those three. Yeah, but I don't think they're gonna meet. They are just in different circles on this sphere in this world.
Well, I think you're going to have one character who's going to be doing the military side of things. One character who you're going to see more behind the scenes doing the political side of things.
Yeah.
And I think that between all these books, there's a good chance they meet.
Okay.
Just because it's so long. If this was just one book, I would agree with you. The other thing could be these aren't even the main characters. This is just another prologue, and they all die anyways.
I do wonder if we're going to get more characters, though. I would like more characters.
Oh, with this much stuff, there has to be more.
I was surprised we didn't get another character.
In these chapters?
Yeah.
What do you mean? We got Gaz, your favorite character.
I mean, he's not my least favorite.
All right. Well, let's move on to our Character of the Week segment.
Just to spite Sheta. No, I'm kidding.
You can. You can like her.
No, my favorite character is, I know it's I knew right away, it was Jasnah, like immediately. Because she is so... Jasnah, sorry. She's so... Yeah. So straightforward, blunt, logical, rational. Doesn't seem to have a lot of time for, like, stupid bullshit. I really like just the way she talked and the way she acted. I hope that this is the way she is and it's not like she's actually, I don't know, a different character
nice.
like you're kind of saying she might be. Yeah, like nice or some shit. Because she wasn't mean, but she seemed very...
strict and stern, like Professor McGonagall.
She did not seem like Professor McGonagall to me.
Like fair, but not really your bestie, like Hagrid.
Well, she didn't seem fair or not fair. Yeah, she's not a bestie. She seemed very, I'm trying to say something specific, but my brain's all broken. She just seems to act the way she talks, when she's like, don't waste my time with humility. Don't waste my time with bragging. Like, it's all just a waste of time. She talked about time many, many times, and I really thought that was fun.
Let's see.
Yeah,
and she
pretty much... Justin, since you're reading the physical copy, typically J's at the beginning of like names or places and stuff, they'll usually have a Y sound.
Mm-hmm.
That's why it's Jasnah Kholin, and the country Shallan's from is Yakaved, and that Herald in the prelude was Yezrian.
I spelled it with a Y. So
yeah, this book is getting very similar to Elantris. I mean, Sheta, how, like, I just need to ask you, Tavlakov, how would you spell his name?
Tavlakov.
All right. Tavlaka. Tavlaka.
No, Tvlakv.
KV. Oh, okay. Nope.
Yeah, you'll get that because they mentioned before, like, the Thalen names. They're going to be a lot like this. People from Thalena. And that's part of why Shallan was talking about Yalb's name. Because the Thalen names are tricky for them.
How's Yalb spelled?
Yalb is kind of how it is. Yalb.
Okay.
But all right, Sheta, your character?
Oh, I'm gonna go with probably Kaladin for ripping up the map and just doing the best with what he has. He's been my favorite so far. And then also like being in pretty good shape throughout his life because he was a soldier, but then still like saying that this was a really tough trek. Like, and like even though he's been enslaved for the past couple of years, he's like, I don't know if I could do this in the prime of my life either. Like it was
8
just
months.
8 months. Okay. Really? I thought he was a slave for 2 years.
No, 8 months.
Oh, okay. That's not too bad. Just kidding.
Yeah.
Just kidding. He did say it felt like 12 years. So.
He had 10 escape attempts in 8 months.
Okay.
All right, my favorite character. I'll have to go with Kaladin for going through the whole Bridge 4 stuff.
I thought he was really cool.
Cool's not exactly the word I'd use. Horrifying is a better word.
But isn't it really...
She wants to see how she'd do at Bridge 4.
I would trip and kill myself and probably my whole bridge crew. Like,
Hmm.
I am so out of
Most
shape. I
likely,
would do.
most likely you trip. If you survive being trampled, the army behind you will likely execute you.
That's if I'm even tall enough to get my head through the bridge. So,
Well,
like,
you wouldn't be assigned to bridge crew, Sheta.
yeah, there you go.
I would be, and I would die. I would not make it. I wouldn't even make it to the bridge to get shot.
Yeah, that sounds rough. When I say it's cool, I think it's cool like when the human is pushed to its limits and stuff. Like it's interesting to see just like boot camps and things. I always think it's really interesting.
All right, now it's time to go to quotes.
All right. So this was Kaladin's chapter after running with the bridge crew. Kaladin longed to lie there, staring at the sky, oblivious of the world. His training, however, warned him that might cause him to cramp up. That would make the return trip even worse. That training. It belonged to another man, from another time, almost from the shadow days. But while Kaladin might not be him any longer, he could still heed him. And so with a groan, Kaladin forced himself to sit up and begin rubbing his muscles. I just thought it showed a lot of character in our protagonist, that he just that he still had strength in him, even though he did not feel like that old person anymore. Which I think says a lot, that your brain finds a way to help you survive, even if you're dead tired and you lost all your hope and stuff, So I really like that.
That's nice. Like I said, he can't give it up no matter how much he wants to.
Yeah,
He
I
doesn't
really
have a good
admire
sense
that.
of what he is like.
And it's hard when you're in the front of a situation and you have to deal with it, but you have to go in your head. I've never been pushed to the brink like that and not been a soldier or anything like that, but I imagine for even if you're just working out or like doing a sport or something and you're tired and you have to mentally make yourself do more work or exercise, I imagine it feels like that.
Hey, my quote comes when Shallan, how do I say that? You said it like 5 times. Shallan
Shallan.
is talking about how she doesn't know history, and Jasnah replies, and she says, "My circumstances are unusual, brightness," about how she doesn't know about history. And the reply is, "Ignorance is hardly unusual. The longer I live, the more I come to realize it is the natural state of the human mind. There are many who will strive to defend its sanctity and then expect you to be impressed with their efforts." I thought was a very fun takedown of everything she just said. And the idea that people do like weirdly become proud of their ignorance for some reason, like it's the number of people who feel weirdly proud about their ignorance as if they feel like that's a defining part of them and it's a good thing instead of a hole to fill, as well as people who want you to look upon them as some kind of like she doesn't hear in the book, as some kind of victim based on your ignorance who needs help, is very common in real life. So I thought it was very funny to have this character just take down that concept so much. It also kind of reminded me of a Chris Rock routine that I will not be quoting here, but if you know it, you know the one I'm referring to.
I know
But I
that
will
one.
not be
I
saying
want
it
to say
here.
it. Say
But
it.
it's a really good takedown of the types of people who like weirdly are so proud of what they don't know. And I don't know why anyone would be proud of something they don't know, because like there's nothing wrong with being ignorant, but you should not think positively about it. So it's the natural state of the human mind. I don't interpret that as her saying that people start ignorant. I think it's her saying that she's learned that most people would prefer to be ignorant, like they like it for some reason. So I think it's funny. It says a lot about both of those characters.
Mhm.
All right, and then my quote is the horror of the bridge run. Now, finally, the real nightmare began. Gaz hung back, bellowing at the bridge crews to keep going. Kaladin's instinct screamed at him to get out of the line of fire, but the momentum of the bridge forced him forward. Forced him down the throat of the beast itself, its teeth poised to snap closed. Kaladin's exhaustion and pain fled. He was shocked alert. The bridges charged forward, the men beneath them screaming as they ran toward death. The archers released. The first wave killed Kaladin's leathery-faced friend, dropping him with 3 separate arrows. The man to Kaladin's left fell as well. Kaladin hadn't even seen his face. The man cried out as he dropped, not dead immediately, but the bridge crew trampled him. The bridge got noticeably heavier as men died. The Parshendi calmly drew a second volley and launched. To the side, Kaladin barely noticed another of the bridge crews floundering. The Parshendi seemed to focus their fire on certain crews. That one got a full wave of arrows from dozens of archers, and the first 3 rows of bridgemen dropped and tripped those behind them. Their bridge lurched, skidding on the ground and making a sickening crunch as the massive bodies fell over one another. Arrows zipped past Kaladin, killing the other 2 men in the front line with him. Several others' arrows smacked into the wood around him, one slicing open the skin of his neck. Cheek! He screamed, in horror, in shock, and pain, and sheer bewilderment. Never before had he felt so powerless in a battle. He'd charged enemy fortifications. He'd run beneath waves of arrows, but he'd always felt a measure of control. He'd had his spear, he'd had his shield, he could fight back. Not this time. The bridge crews were like hogs running to the slaughter.
As Sheta said, fun.
Like I said, it's just so horrifying and terrifying, everything. Just spending hours running this heavy bridge, his shoulders bleeding, his feet bleeding, body's just sore, and now you have to run at people just shooting arrows at you, and you can't do anything. Everyone's dying around him.
It's the getting pushed forward thing, like, because you're stuck in the bridge, that part scares me. You're like, crap, you want to run, but like, there's so many people. It's like getting stuck in a stampede, but you can't stop, like, yeah.
Then you stop, you'll fall and get crushed.
Yep.
Trampled. Right. So I guess with that, we'll move on to what we're doing next week. And I will let everyone who's listening know, because we're getting to the time of year where, for me personally, our podcast has not become the #1 podcast yet, so I have not become a multimillionaire from the show.
What?
So
How close are we to #1 podcast in the world? How close?
Oh yeah, that was our goal.
Well, we haven't hit the top 25, but we do have a high because either I've noticed most of them are either true crime, politics, or celebrities talking about something.
Okay, we'll try to work more of that into every show.
Yeah, you have to become a celebrity.
Those are the things everyone who's not into those and watches things like this wants to hear about all the time: crime, politics, and celebrities.
So because of that, we're getting to the time of year where I'll be busy. I'm still going to do our best to try to get episodes made, recorded every single week. But say if we happen to have a week where we don't have an episode to release, I do at least have the Warbreaker 1-star review sitting there. I'll be able to release that week.
Oh boy.
So you'll have something.
Yeah, those are fucking awful, so look forward to that. Those hurt.
Yep. And also I'll let you know that the Sunday, or Monday, whatever, that weekend after American Thanksgiving. Yeah, the weekend after American Thanksgiving and the week between Christmas and New Year's. Going to be busy that time anyway, so we're not going to have an episode those weeks, so we'll just skip them.
This is unrelated. Is there other country Thanksgivings? Do they call it that? Is that a thing?
I believe, yeah.
That's weird.
What is
no, they're not allowed to have it.
Let us know if your Thanksgiving is not the last Thursday of the month.
Good. Canada's Thanksgiving this year was October 13th.
Oh, yeah, they would have one too. Okay. I gotcha. I was thinking of like Swedish Thanksgiving or Japanese Thanksgiving or some shit.
Okay, I'm stupid.
I forgot Canada existed. I'm sorry to any Canadian listeners.
We had Tree on here and she's Canadian.
I apologize specifically to you then.
She's also likely not listening because she's on a different First Time Cosmere podcast, so they don't want to accidentally get spoiled by listening to a different one.
All right, then I take back my apology.
Well, this is for Tree in however many years it takes you to get to Stormlight Archives.
Oh no, they've already done this book on that show.
Oh, then.
But the sort of thing is, you don't know what a different show might consider a quote unquote spoiler, so they might say something about stuff in the future. So usually, first time readers on different podcasts, whether it's Cosmere Reads, whether it's Always Another Podcast, whether it's the Sanderlanche podcast, they won't be listening to other podcasts because they don't want those chances of getting spoiled.
Gotcha.
But yeah, so people expect that couple weeks there won't be those episodes, and then if there's a week where we can't get something out, we'll do 1-star reviews. Otherwise, I'll do my best to make sure we get stuff every week. And if you're somebody that's listening to this a couple years in the future, you see like, oh, they're currently reading, the most recent episode was an episode of Tress in the Emerald Sea. Don't worry, because you're just binging anyway, so you can just keep on going.
Yeah.
You
Have fun.
lucky bastard. Living in the future.
So carefree.
But for
Yeah,
us,
so
it's going-
carefree, I'm sure. Things are only going to get better.
Yeah, you got to think positive.
In the post-apocalyptic wasteland where this show is your only joy, even though you've never read the books, because all books have been destroyed in the future, I hope that you enjoy this eating a rat that you find somewhere, if you're lucky, in some kind of dystopian thing where you really relate to the Bridgemen because your average life is that difficult.
That's awful. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, next week we'll be reading chapters 7 through 11.
7, 11.
Yep. 5 chapters for next week. 7 to 11.
Okie dokie.
All right. And let's quickly go over. We have just 2 different comments that will go. These were both on our Cosmere check-in episode.
Oh, fun. Okay.
First is from TechSoul5590. Is Sheta planning some sort of cursed fanfiction eventually?
I do. I actually have a lot of ideas that I want to put somewhere. But that might be more like short stories. I don't know. That sounds kind of fun, though.
Well, would they be fan fictions or would they be original works inspired by?
I would like them to be fan fictions. Just from, like, the story. Like, those are just the ones I have in my head for the stuff we've read. But yeah, if you want it, I'll write it.
I don't know how many
But
people want to read the Vivenna
It didn't
Claude.
sound like you did like it, though.
They only use the word cursed, Sheta.
Yeah, right. Okay, I won't do it.
All right. Next is from Reader Warrior. A 3-hour episode? Welcome back, Nick. Stormlight is thick with 10 C's.
Oh, God, no.
Yeah, it is.
All right. On breath. People born on Nalthis are born with a little bit of extra magic. Everyone in the Cosmere is born with at least a little bit. That extra stuff is breath that is endowed into them when they are born. The humanizing aspect of awakening, I believe, is because we, as humans, imagine things working in a human shape, and that's what comes easiest to us. And so the intent of awakening draws upon that mental image of what you want it to do. Stamping, and Cellish magic in general, it's the softest magic you've kind of seen so far. But it's not as easy as just, oh, I didn't get stabbed, so now I'm fine. Because otherwise Shai could have just rewritten the Emperor to not have been shot. There's also believability, but I'm ignoring that for now. It requires diligent study of all aspects of what is being stamped. That's why she needed to know all the types of stone in her cell to change it, and why she needed to know everything about Ashravan to fix him. Now, if someone were able to make a stamp that could circumvent that, maybe. But that's far from possible at the moment.
By my understanding of the magics, I think that would not be possible, or would go against the very concept of it.
I was going to keep quiet about everyone's rankings for stuff because everyone is entitled to their opinions. And then Sheta comes along and does this? This isn't even a curveball. I don't even know where this fits. Is this the bad place? Did someone hurt you? Are there actual skeletons in the closet? Says it above. Why?
Oh no. Is that for the just all rankings?
You had some nightmarish stuff, Sheta.
The only one that I can see that gets people like this has got to be the shipping. 2 out of 5 of Sheta's favorite scenes are of Vin and her connection to Ellen. How the fudge does that work?
Because I personally enjoy the relationships that I picked for my favorite ships, but I do like character moments a lot too. So
She's crazy. That's the answer. She is insane.
All right. Yep. So those are our comments. So I can't remember if we did plugs last week or not. So just throw out some plugs. Why not? Do it.
Jeez, I wasn't prepared. You can follow profanity something. I forget. And there's art, and I wasn't prepared. Oh God, that's all I got.
Yeah, ugly. You can follow my Instagram for my art at Sheta_low. And then my other Instagram, Mermaid Machete, has my cosplays and fashion stuff. And I will have some Halloween stuff up there and other stuff from the fall up there. I promise.
Yeah, Ben. For Cosmere Chronicles, social media, there's a couple in the description. If you want to follow us in there, go right ahead. That'll probably be the best way, where if we don't have an episode coming out a week, you'll be told, hey, been busy, no episode this week. And then if you want to email us, cosmicchronicles@gmail.com. If you want to leave a like, leave a review, all that stuff, ratings, go ahead, do that. It probably helps out the show in some way. I don't know. I'm not an algorithm expert.
All engagement helps.
Yeah, help us get the #1 podcast spot.
Yep, that's our goal. By reviewing one author's books, we're gonna get #1 in the world.
Sorry, Travis and Jason Kelsey, we're passing you up. Joe
Are
Rogan,
they
we're passing you.
Yeah, we can do it. Sure, he's
You know
interviewed
what?
some of the most famous people of all time. We're totally gonna get above him.
No one believed in Luffy, too, that he would be king of the pirates. But he's making his way up there.
To be fair, though, Sheta isn't trying to become king of the pirates by entering one pie eating contest. That would be my equivalent.
Okay, well maybe we gotta up our game a little bit here.
Well, Justin, he hated the pies in Jaya. Blackbeard,
Yeah, I guess you're
he
right.
liked him, so he's the one that's getting king of the pirates.
See?
That's why Blackbeard's gonna win. Yep.
That's why.
All right, but yeah, that's everything. So everyone, if you did not start watching Code Geass last week, maybe go and start it now. If you did start, continue it if you haven't finished.
What if they didn't finish because they fucking hated it?
Well, go through it anywhere.
And start over.
Your conviction?
Start over. You're going to be in a Groundhog Day loop until you like the show.
Again.
All right. But yeah. So everyone, see ya. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.